So what is the role of citizens in digitalization?
Well, also as a person representing a civil society organization, Homo Digitalis, I believe that truly citizens can play an active role in digitalization as long as governments, policymakers, and the stakeholders involved know exactly what they are inviting their citizens to participate in. So public consultations and other type of civic engagement initiatives, let's say, should be well prepared in advance and very well structured. And this, of course, helps also with digesting later on and bringing on board the feedback you receive as a policymaker in order to incorporate it to your policies. I think that also it's very important for citizens to be active and organize themselves under broader schemes like civil society organizations, workers' unions, etc., acting like watchdogs in a solid and collective manner. I truly believe that 20 minds are far better than just one. Specific also research and the planning is required per country or even per region within a country in order to put together a future-proof civil engagement plan that will maximize citizen participations. And we have to be aware of some concrete issues that we already know. For example, the digital divide. There is a gap between those able to benefit from all these digital technologies and those who are not. And in the second group, there are many people that have valuable experience and who cannot participate in these online discussions and engagement tools. So we need to find a way to invite these people in the table and listen to their expertise and knowledge. And of course, fatigue. People have their problems, and it's very hard to engage in policy making and to be an active citizen when you are behind payments in your loan, when your health is deteriorating, when you need to provide for your family and you can't. So in order to engage citizens to participate, we have to overall improve their well-being. And only in this way, citizens will be, let's say, fortunate enough to participate in democratic processes.
Thank you. Yes, that's definitely one of the points that we need to be discussing about the impact of this for the citizens. Um, Jan, would you like to contribute as well?
Yeah, so I agree with LSTS. We are former colleagues of at CITIB, so it's very good to see him on a side note. But yes, I do agree with LSTS that involving citizens in this digital, and especially that from my research perspective, AI story is challenging. And data literacy is, I think, one of the key challenges. I'm quite sure that the ethical legal frameworks in the end will adapt themselves, but I think involving citizens and making sure that their data literacy skills are trained, that they are following in this. And we've seen how COVID was for some categories of society not always easy because of this transformation to the digital context. So we really have to make sure that they have this digital data literacy skills. Also, a report from a Belgian Koning Boudewijn Stichting also showed that that people will miss this digital transformation and digital digital society. So this is a first thing. What I would like to add is that the call to include citizens to increase data literacy is also connected to the legal framework, and especially, for example, procedural law. Because, for example, when you look at damage caused by artificial intelligence, whether it being a healthcare bot or another self-driving vehicles, the burden of proof for victims will be very high. In most cases, still on product liability, they will have to show a defect of an AI system. They will have to show that software is considered a product. They will have under other regimes, they will have to show that an operator committed a fault, for example. So these are very difficult standards. So my claim with citizenship, involving them into digitalization, is also connected to finding procedural solutions to really tackle these burden of proof issues. And for example, introducing, which is now being debated, a reversal of the burden of proof, lowering the burden of proof. And also in this AI regulation, the role of citizens has not been much taken into account. They do not really have many rights. So there's also, I think, a missed chance where the focus could have been more on citizens. So this is my take on the last question.
Brilliant, thank you. And Jelle, perhaps you would like to also agree or disagree with what has already been said about?
Yeah, I think we can all agree that it's extremely important to involve citizens in all of this. But maybe two thoughts. For example, now on the AI regulation, there is a public consultation. Who will participate there? A lot of research organizations, companies, institutions. I'm curious to see how many citizens will give their input. So I would really, in the future, like to see a way that also citizens as individuals are really encouraged to participating in giving their feedback. I know from a technical point of view, they can do that, but I do not know if they find their way or if they even do it. The role of citizens in digitization, I think it's a very general concept, digitization, and in a way, all citizens together are driving this. But the problem indeed is some are driving this more than others, and there's a big risk that we leave a lot of people behind. I think there are efforts being undertaken. For example, in the Belgian at the federal level and the regional level, we see that very specific actions are being taken to ensure that people who are at risk of not being able to follow this digitization, that they can just that they are not left behind, and they can also benefit from what this can bring. I do not have a very big opinion on this, but I think in general we can say this digitization is happening, and we should ensure that it is of benefit to all our society, and not just those who can understand it, can work with it, and can profit from it.